Good Wednesday morning, coming to you from out here at Union Hill, north of Marshall, Missouri. Stormy morning this morning, lots of thunder and lightning and rain, and just thinking about what's going on in the world. I know it's been a while since I put a video up. Really concerned about a couple of things. My daughter called a couple of days ago from California and said that things were closing down again, shutting down again. Getting around is going to be tough out there because of this COVID-19 virus. The governor out there, I don't know him. I don't know him from Adam. But, he's just taking it upon himself to do a lot of things. And first of all, it was you can't sing in church, can't praise and worship. If you go to church, you can't sing. And now I just saw a story that was posted about 7 hours ago where he has said he is banning indoor church services until further notice, indefinitely. Think about that. Now, I know the Justice Department, Attorney General Barr have already said a while back that constitutional rights did not get taken away when COVID-19 went on the rise. We have not lost our rights. We have not lost our rights to assemble. We have not lost the freedom of religion, or whatever you want to call that clause. Really, it's a separation of church and state. The state shouldn't be able to say, you're closing your doors. So I really have to question what Governor Newsom's doing out there in California. I'm afraid it's going to spread across the country. And so that's one part of what I wanted to address today. The second part is what churches are doing to themselves. Church members choosing to stay home, choosing for some reason not to support their local churches right now during this time. And when I say stay home, that's kind of a misnomer. A lot of the people that are not going to church right now, and I'm not talking specifically about Union Baptist Church, but a lot of people that are saying, well, we can't meet, I don't feel comfortable going to church right now. They don't have a problem going to events, to get-togethers, to parties. They don't have a problem going to the lake on the weekend. They don't have a problem doing all of the other things that they want to do, but maybe it's not a good idea to go to church. And I'm not picking on anyone, so don't take this personally. My point is, on one hand, we have a governor and a state government in California saying you can't go to church. You can't go inside and worship at church. Now, I understand if people make a choice not to. I have a friend whose entire family is high risk medically, and it behooves them not to gather with other believers at this time. I understand that, but that's a personal choice that we should be able to make. The government should not be able to say you can't have church services. They can recommend social distancing. They can say if you're going to meet with mask. If you're going to meet, stay 6 feet apart. But they can't. By the Constitution, they cannot say you can't meet. Okay, that's on one hand. On the other hand, we're choosing not to meet. Some churches are choosing not to open at all. I read where some churches are saying we've been doing good enough using social media. We might not ever meet again physically as a church family. That's tough. I believe it's tough to make that decision. I believe we might be seeing a change. Everything says, well, everybody says there's not going to be a new normal. or we are going to have a new normal. Things aren't going to be normal. Things aren't going back to the way they used to be before this pandemic. And I think that also includes the church. I think churches are going to make changes based on convenience, based on, well, it might not be best for us to do that anyway. Personally, I like going to church. Been doing it a long time, been in the pulpit for a long time. Thinking about retiring this year. Not sure what that's going to look like. I've been in the pulpit most Sundays for decades. And so that's going to be different for me. But I'm concerned about churches that think, well, attendance is down, finances are down. Maybe we should just close our doors. That's a prayerful thing. Church members need to make decisions based on prayer and God's guidance. And if that's what God leads, then I think you should follow God. But I don't think we ought to do things just because right now they're inconvenient. Right now it's tough. Right now it's hard to get people to church. Right now it's hard to do whatever the church needs to do. I think it's sad that, again, on one hand, governments are saying you can't meet, and on the other hand, churches are just backing off. We still have a mission. We still have things that we're supposed to do for God. And until He tells us otherwise, we need to do those things. Now, might He tell a church, yeah, you've been doing this long enough and it's tough and maybe it's time to close the doors. And if God says that through prayer, through godly counsel, then definitely I think that church should follow God. Follow the leading of God. We shouldn't be letting the government push us around. We shouldn't be letting a governor say no more indoor church meetings. And we shouldn't just be giving up on church for convenience sake. I don't know where that leaves us today, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. I think the church in America, let me back up and say the righteous remnant of the church in America might just have been what's been holding back the judgment of God for a while. If we see the judgment of God, I believe we're going to see it start in the church. I believe that's biblical. And I'm not at all sure that the church in America doesn't deserve it. Keep the faith.